Shalom there, friends. Picking right off where we left off in Revelation 13:17, part 2. Welcome back. I want to go into the Greek of Revelation 13:17. Have a look with me. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be amazed. Praise be to Yahweh. Go to Revelation 13:17. Okay, I'm going to show you from the screen that the mark cannot possibly be the COVID jab, the COVID vaccine. That is absolute nonsense. It's a twisting of scriptures designed to put fear, doubt, and unbelief, and actually to attack with doubt and worry and grief those whose names are written in the book of life, as if somehow, if they protect themselves and their family, somehow their name is going to somehow be removed from the book of life. Okay? I want you to rest in the word of Yahuwah and not in the lies and misrepresentations of men. Now, if you look carefully, we're going to go to the Greek of Revelation 13:17. It says, it's on your screen, follow with me, Revelation 13:17, it's right there on your screen. No one should be able to buy or sell but the one having, watch this, to sharagmato onoma. To sharagmato onoma tau terio. That no one can buy or sell or do commerce except the one having the mark, the name. You see that? Right there. The mark is the name. The mark is not a jab. The mark is not a vaccine. The mark is not a medication. The mark is the name. Let's say that again. So Revelation 13:17 properly translated, if it's properly translated, it should read, no man can buy, no man can sell except he who had the mark, the name. There's no or, there's no comma, there's no the mark of his name, by his name. There's no comma, there's no pause. It clearly identifies the mark, the name. So if you have the name of this false god, perpetrated by his false messenger, the second beast, that looked like a lamb with two horns, Shiites and Sunnis, and that causes the Kaaba, that building, to speak a message. The message is that Allah does not beget, neither is he begotten, and he has no son. It is a false system of worship. The image in Kaaba speaks. Those who refuse to worship at Mecca are condemned, and those who do swear allegiance to this name have the mark. So this cannot be any clearer. I cannot make any clearer what is already recorded, faithfully recorded in the word of Yahuwah. The mark is the name of the beast. Now, let's go to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation 14. I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. Okay, let's go to Revelation 14 and let's try 11. Go with me, please. So you'll see it on your screen and make it a little bit easier to follow along. In Revelation 14:11, we read, and the smoke of their torment ascends up Leolam Va'ed, forever, and they have no rest, Yom or Laila, day or night. They have no rest, and they're burned, and the result of their being burned in the second death has their smoke ascending up forever and ever. Anyone who worships, there it is again, worships the beast and his image, whoever receives the mark, the name. Now, we have a second witness to what I just shared with you in Revelation 13:17. Now here in Revelation 14:11, we have a second witness. Okay. It says, they will be tormented. The smoke of their torment will go up, not having rest day and night. Those who continue to bow down, proskenotas, those who continue to bow down to the beast and the image of the beast, And anyone who receives the mark of the name, does it say the mark of the vaccine? No. Does it say the mark of the jab? No. Does it say the mark of the CDC? No. Does it say the mark of Anthony Fauci? No. This is a system of worship that is characterized by the mark of the beast, which is the name of the beast. This has nothing to do with medicine. It has nothing to do with pills. It has nothing to do with syringes. There's nothing to do with jabs. It is a system that is vying and making war on the true Yahuwah, this false Elohim, Allah, making war on the true Elohim Yahuwah through the second beast, who is the messenger who causes everyone to worship the false God in a false system of worship at a false temple or tabernacle of worship that causes the image to speak. Again, we have verse 11 clearly confirming, Revelation 14:11, clearly confirming that whoever worships the beast receives his name. So all those who worship Yahuwah receive the name of Yahuwah. They're sealed with the name of Yahuwah. I'll say that again. All those who worship Yahuwah are rewarded and sealed with the name of Yahuwah. Contrawise, all those who worship the beast are rewarded by the evil one with the name of the beast. I told you this would be easy. I told you that this is simple for anybody who's open and innocent in heart and doesn't have an agenda. But if you already have an agenda and you've sent out too many emails and you posted too many comments online and you would look like a fool for drinking this stuff and you're too proud to say, hey, praise Yah that he sent a sholiach to speak this into my life so I can rest and stop condemning innocent people whose names are already written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Bible believers should know better. They should not be stupid between the ears. They should know better than the world what's true and what's not true. But apparently they can't read English, and they certainly can't read Greek or Hebrew. Because if they could, they would never associate the jab as the mark of the beast. So apparently they're just not dense spiritually. They can't read basic English, Greek, Hebrew, or Aramaic. Never let scripture get in the way of your opinion. That's their attitude. Never let scripture get in the way of your opinion. So it says in verse 11 of Revelation 14:11, the smoke of the destruction of those who are false worshipers. Again, nothing to do with the jab. False worshipers receive his name. In other words, you're going to receive the name of the false god you worship. That's what the mark of the beast is. You're going to receive the name of the false god you worship. Yeshua is Nasar, the branch. We receive his name, Nazarenes, or little Yeshuas, in Acts chapter 13, Christianoi, or little Christians, little branches. We receive the name of the Elohim and the system that we worship. And it's the same with the evil one and his messenger and the image in the Kaaba that has two horns. It's a religious system that's trying to deceive the whole world, and anyone who swears allegiance to that religious system of worship is an enemy of Yahuwah and will be desolated in the lake of fire and will not have their name in the book of life. But everybody whose name is in the book of life is already a worshiper of the Lamb. If you're already a worshiper of the Lamb, whether you're vaccinated or not, you're not going to worship a false god, and you're not going to receive his name. I'm going to say that again. If your name is in the Lamb's Book of Life, you already belong to the Lamb. You've been sealed by his name. The ones who cannot buy and sell and conduct commerce are the ones who are sealed in the name of the beast. So the mark of the beast is the name of the beast. They are one and the same. The mark of the beast is the name of the beast. They are one and the same. Verse 12. Here is the endurance of the Israelite Kiddushim. In other words, we're going to have to endure all these lies, all this misinformation, and the growing appeal to come to the one true faith, allegedly, of Allah. Here is the endurance of the Israelite saints, the Israelite Kiddushim. Those who shomer, who guard the mitzvot, the commandments of Yahweh in the Torah, and have faith in Yahusha. So this verse 12 of Revelation 14, verse 12 of Revelation 14 shows you who's in charge of these two warring factions. Those who are Israelite saints guard the Torah and believe that Yahweh is the true Elohim and that he has a son. So those who are the true saints, who can never take the mark of the beast, whether they're vaccinated or not. Irrelevant, side issue, not important. Irrelevant, side issue, not important. Whether you take cough drops or not has nothing to do with this. Whether you take high blood pressure medication has nothing to do with this. Whether you're for or against Big Pharma has nothing to do with this. If you're against Big Pharma and you're against vaccines, have that faith to yourself. Romans 14, you are in no position to judge another man, Yahusha's servant. To his own master, that person will stand and fall. Not to your judgments, because your judgments may be misjudgments, which is why I have to do this teaching in the first place, because so many of you have gotten off base. That's why I've had to do this. I didn't want to do this, but I had to have the Ruach HaKodesh, not to worry about the fear of men and all their negative responses and their all attacks. I'm not going to buy your products. I'm not going to go to your website. Listen, I've worked through that. The one who called me is going to call me to account for every word and every idle word that I did or did not speak. And I will only speak what he told me to speak. So verse 12 says that the war is between Allah and Yahuwah, between Yahuwah's mark and Allah's mark, between Yahuwah's mark and Allah's mark. That's the war. Now, that representative appeared to be dead. Old-fashioned religion, nobody wants it. It beheads people. It doesn't give women rights and freedom. Nobody wants it. But all of a sudden, that deadly wound is healed, and that messenger comes alive, and the whole world is out of control, taking the mark of the beast. So the mark of the Almighty is the true name, Yud-He, Uhe, or Vav-He. The mark of the false worship system that will permeate the end times and the Great Tribulation is the other worship system of Allah and its messenger. Now, two more things and we're done, because this, you're either going to get this or not. I can go on for 20 hours, 24 hours. It's not going to matter, okay? You're either going to get this or not. You're either open-hearted or you're not. You've either made up your mind or you're thirsting and hungering to return to truth because you don't know what to believe. And everybody you ask gives you a different opinion. Again, I want to emphasize, this is not an infomercial for vaccines, pro or against. Many in my family have taken the vaccine. No one has died. Many have not taken the vaccine. They have died. You're probably better off protecting yourself. But that's your decision. I cannot tell you what to do. But whatever you do, if your name is in the Lamb's Book of Life, it cannot be removed, because you would never worship a false Elohim and you would never swear allegiance to Allah, now would you? And we saw in the Greek, not once, but twice, we saw in the Greek in Revelation 13:17, and we saw in the Greek in Revelation 14:11 that the mark, the name, there is no comma or but. Like, oh, you're going to take the mark or the name of the beast. It doesn't say the mark or the name. No, the mark is the name. The mark of Nasarim is the Nasar, Yahusha. We're named after the Elohim we worship. Same in Islam. They're named after the Elohim that they worship. Now, no one whose name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life who takes the vaccine is going to start worshiping Allah unless they convert. That's a whole different story. So the war, the end time war, is kingdom versus kingdom. Allah's worship system versus Yahuwah's worship system, and every man has to choose. But the Israelites will be safe, whether they take the vaccine or not. The Israelites will be safe as long as they keep the Torah, verse 12, the mitzvot of Yahuwah, and maintain faith in Yahusha and don't trade it in. Now, go to verse 9, and this is key right here. This is key right here. And the third heavenly malach, we're in Revelation 14:9, followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man takes the vaccine, if any man takes the jab, is that what the angel said? Now tell me the truth. Is that what the angel said? That you're listening to some false angels, aren't you? You're listening to some false dark messengers, are you? You're listening to angels of misinformation, aren't you? Because the heavenly messenger speaks in this wise. The heavenly messenger speaks in this wise. If any man, that includes generic man, woman, boy, girl, worships, that's the key right there. Has nothing to do with medicine, jabs, or needles. If any man worships the beast and his image, Mecca, the Kaaba, and receives the mark of his name in his forehead or in his hand, okay, that individual will be tormented and desolated, and the smoke of their destruction will rise as a stench forever. The second death in the lake of fire. Not tormented forever, but the smoke or the result of their actions will be forever. So again, we see that the mark is the name of those who are willing to worship a false Elohim and a false system. And by worshiping that Elohim, they receive the mark hyphen the name, not comma or but, the mark or the name, the mark but the name. No, the mark is the name. We've showed that to you several times. But notice the end of verse 5. Where does the mark go? In the forehead, where Yahuwah's name is sealed. Torah says that we should put his word on the frontals between our eyes, right, on our foreheads, and in our hand, because that's the hand, of course, is an extension of us. But notice it says that the mark, those who take the mark of the true mark of the beast, take it in their forehead and their hand. Now, I don't have to tell you what I'm about to say, right? You already know what I'm going to say. Where do people get the jab? Where do people get the vaccine? Do they inject their forehead? Do they inject their skull? Come on, man. Come on, man. Give me a break. Can't you read English? Seriously. No, I'm seriously. Can't you read? Or are you more interested in reading your own writing and your own posts and being a teacher among men and convincing people? False prophet, false witness, false testimony, burn. Those are the ones who are going to burn, not the ones who take the vaccine. Even though you should have the freedom to take it or not take it. I'm against all mandates. But the mark of the beast is not placed in arms. Where do they place the vaccine? Nobody's going to put a vaccine in your hand, and nobody's going to put a vaccine in your forehead. That alone should tell you that you have been believing a bunch of crap. Now, if you don't mind believing crap and eating crap, continue to do it. Don't let me pull the dish away. You keep positioning yourself at that dish and building yourself up and lie upon lie, instead of truth and precept upon precept from the Heavenly Father. So the mark is given here on the forehead and in the hand. There's not a single person who ever received the COVID vaccine that didn't receive it in their arm. I'm going to say that again. There's not a single person who ever received the COVID vaccine that did not receive it in their arm. If you believe in Bill Gates and Anthony Fauci and all these guys in their conspiracy, fine. You have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. You don't have the right to twist the word of Yahuwah. It is still not the mark of the beast. You can make an argument. It's not healthy. It's not good. It can get you sick. It's not wise. Okay, you can make that argument. Bill Gates is producing vaccines. That's fine. But don't start bearing false witness against your brothers and sisters whose names are already in the Lamb's Book of Life, and you got them scared stiff that they're going to go to hell because they try to protect themselves and their family. When statistics prove people that are vaccinated die about 1,000% less than people who are not vaccinated. Those are facts. Any factual look will tell you that. Okay, do people die from flying kites? Yeah. Do people die from the vaccine? Yeah. Do people die? Yeah. You can die from anything, but you're more likely to die from COVID than you are from the vaccine. But you can die from drinking too much coffee. But that doesn't make coffee the mark of the beast. Go back to verse 9. They receive the mark in their forehead and in their hand. Where do people receive? Where do people receive the jab? That's right. They receive the jab in their arms. Now, let's close this part. Let's see what we can find in the Greek. Look at your screen. Let's see what we can find. Let's see what it says in the Greek. We don't want to take anybody's word for it. We want to make sure that we're now finally being corrected and willing to walk, humble enough to walk in that correction. Whoever worships the beast, there it is, has nothing to do with medicine, has nothing to do with pills, it has nothing to do with vaccines. Whoever worships this beast and the messenger who wants to put that name of that God upon you and its image, that's the building in Saudi Arabia that echoes the message and requires it speaks. It requires you to come to it. If you don't come to it, you're not a good follower. And receives the mark, labane charagma, epital on the metapau forehead or upon the hand. Chira, upon the hand or upon the forehead. Now, is there anybody that's honest, that has a relationship with Yahusha, that knows that one of the 10 Commandments is you shall not lie, that is going to teach that the COVID vaccine is received in our hand and in our forehead? Is there anyone? Is there anyone that's going to teach, that's going to continue to teach that the mark of the beast is the jab, the COVID vaccine, even though it tells you that the mark of the beast is not medicine or a vaccine, it is the name of a false god and a false worship system, and those who are not written in the book of life. No one whose name is written in the book of life would enter into this false system of worship because they're already sealed with the name of Yahuwah, and they cannot be sealed Bismillah. So the mark of the beast, which is the name of the god of the false worship system of the last days, is received not in the arm, is not received in the arm, but on the forehead and on the hand. Now, friends, I cannot make it any clearer than that. And I'll see you again real quick. I'll see you again in part 3.